What do names like Roy Orbison, James Cameron, Danny Aiello, Kathleen Turner, Kelly McGillis, and Dino De Laurentiis have in common? Well, they've all had the unique opportunity of working with Mr. Earl Owensby. Owensby was born and raised in Cliffside, and there he got an early start in the motion picture business.
Went to work in the theater when I was 10 years old, Cliffside Theater, and I saw a lot of movies during the week. That's not what put me in the movie business. I also had 3 paper routes, and I'm not a newspaper guy, you know.
After that, Owensby worked in a cotton mill. Eventually, he served 5 years as a Marine. He even worked as a tool salesman. But it seems that Owensby was destined to make movies. He even has the largest collection of 3D films ever produced, and we ask him if that three-dimensional wonder will ever regain its popularity.
I believe it'll have to. I mean, if you look back at the industry as a whole, there's 3 ways to sell a movie: gimmick, 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 and 3D. 3D is a gimmick, and there's a whole generation out there now that's never seen 3D. People, when I've gone to Disney World, Disneyland, or what have you, and you go into these theaters showing 3D, they go, ooh, they try to grab the butterfly or grab whatever. And we do that. We do it very, very well. You know, it's kind of odd that what's Disney's big 3D movie at Disney World? Captain EO.
When Owensby started out in 1973, the premier film outlets were theaters and network TV. He says much has changed since then.
Nowadays, look at all the cable things you got. You got Showtime, HBO, a Family Channel, USA Network, all these places to go with that we didn't have.
Owensby says that this new cable generation has opened up a whole new can of beans in the way films are released. And in the immediate future, he may be giving that a taste test.
Theatrical features is awful hard anymore. When you take The Abyss, we talked about $53 million to make it, another $25 million to sell it. We're not in that business. I wouldn't tell anybody. I would never gamble that. That's a gamble. But it's not a gamble.
The Earl Owensby collection consists of 37 films. When asked to name his best, he didn't think twice.
North Carolina's probably the best movie we ever made, and I tell you, I think I put my, because I like Damon Husky, and sometimes you can take a character, a Southern sheriff. It's a very serious story. His brother got assassinated along with 2 other law enforcement officers, and I thought it was a very heart-warming kind of thing. And we just condensed Damon's story down to where we could tell it in a 90-minute deal. I'm very proud of that picture. I got good critical reviews of it and everything. It was real good for us.
The film Living Legend was Owensby's most successful financially. It even gained him a nomination for Movie of the Year by the Academy of Country Music. The picture's soundtrack was recorded by the late Roy Orbison.
Roy, I was a big fan of Roy. I thought he had a wonderful voice. Elvis thought he had a wonderful voice. Elvis in Vegas one night and stopped the show and told Charlie Hodge to call Roy Orbison and see if he had phoned that note in. I can't reach it. He was talking about. So he was a big, big fan of Roy's, and I went over, and Arthur Smith and I went over and spent a little time with Roy, and he agreed to do the thing. And he wasn't a major star. He come back later, but he did the soundtrack.
Owensby also recalled one of his least favorite films.
I hated Wolfman. I tell you, man, I just hated Wolfman. It was cold. It took 3 hours to get that makeup on. And we had a story that was a gothic horror story. I remember the old Hammer films out of England, and it was shot with that in mind, and we more or less copied their style. And it done business. I'm not going to complain about the business. It done all right. I just never want to sit and watch that sucker anymore, you know.